Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Fishing Control. As you can see, we're starting off a little different today. With the first of two boxes, we're going to be doing a couple of quick upgrades to the car, to the whole fishing situation. With the truck out of commission, using the SUV has meant that I've had to rig rods at the beach more often, and that's difficult, or not necessarily difficult, but eats up a ton of time. So being able to take pre-rigged rods already tied up, ready to go, that's the move. So we've ordered a couple of things to get going there. All right, so to start out, and so technically I've already opened these, but it's still sort of an unboxing. Starting out, I got the Vevor strap-on roof rack. Now I opened it just enough to make sure that nothing was broken when it came in shipping. So this has some parts and some instructions. Sure, I'll have to do some reading here. I'm not really gonna do a full install video. That's not what this is. I am gonna talk about whether or not this was easy to put together or not. And like I said, this is the first of two parts. So let me take a look at these instructions. I'm sure there's a step-by-step, and I'll get maybe a time lapse of me putting these on. You guys know what a roof rack is. It's going to be strapped on. It's going to clip in under the door frame here in the jammy thing, whatever. One in the front, one in the back. And that's where we'll start. So as you can see, I've got the top on here, the rack, through quite a bit of fighting. This guy was like $50. It was the cheapest one I could get, basically, that fits a naked roof of this size. But it's on there. It's on there. She's snug. And now comes the pièce de résistance that ties the room together, or whatever. It is a locking ski rack, like thus. So we're going to bolt this on, and the idea is that it holds fishing rods similarly to how it holds skis. So I'm going to toss this sucker together. Ready for another time lapse? Here we go. got locking racks. You just give this guy a quick whatever-de doodle. I think I need them both. Boom. Load them down in there. He's got these rubberized doodlies, almost like super weather stripping to grip it and not ruin it. Yeah, so we're gonna go fish with these tomorrow morning and see how they do. We're gonna try them out. I'm sure these will need a little adjusting as I go. They may or may not live full time on the car. These mechanisms are god awful. If you can afford a better one, I would get a level or two up. But honestly, it looked like you had to spend a few $100s to get anything that wasn't made out of essentially the same junk. So that's why I went with the cheapest, because it looked like exactly the same thing as up to about 150 bucks, unless you go up to like 300 or something, and then they're a little bit better mechanism. This was $50. This was like $40 or $50 all in with shipping. I think I'm at like 109 bucks for both of these things together, and they're gonna be great. I've got them all the way to the one side. I was kind of hoping there'd be enough room for a kayak rack next to them, but I'm not sure that there will be. Don't think that there will. I could maybe put another tube though and put some more stuff in there, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with this rack here. I'm stoked to have this though. Okay, so we finally made it out here to the beach. I was trying to get the rods all set up before I strapped the camera on, but as soon as the first rod hit the water, second rod technically, I got a little pompano on. So I guess I should probably put the camera on and get to recording. That was on shrimp and sand flea fish bites, and we will try and keep this rolling along. So this is just a little pompano. We're gonna let him go. If we were really feeling like trying to go for something big though, pompano are unregulated here on size. So I could keep him, and their fillets this size are like basically like little bluegills. They make great little fish sandwiches and stuff, and their heads are very good bait for big stuff. But we're gonna let him go get bigger. We'll see it. Here's dinner. That was a real hit. Did I get him? No. That was a tuggaroo. That was a tuggaroo. Something's tuggarooing over there. Yeah. Do I have it? I probably have it. Let's find out. I know something definitely got that shrimp on that rod. This feels like it could be like a whiting or something. A whiting or a spot would be perfect right now to use as cut bait on the big rod. We'll pull the big rod in, leave some of that mullet fish bite on there, and put some fresh bait on with it. That's actually a really good whiting right there. That's what we want. That's eating size. I might not use him for bait. Save him for the freaking cooler. Ow! Chillax, bro. Yeah, that's going in the cooler actually. Nice whiting. Nice whiting. Whoop. That is what we want. Good hit. Woo! Another whiting on the board. This 3 or 4 in the box. Yay! All right, my friends. It is now a couple of days after the fishing adventure. I've left the rack and the rods on the car and driven around with them a little extra just to see how it does. Overall, the thing's rocking, man. It saved me a bunch of time loading up in the car, loading up in the beach, all the steps. No disassembling or assembling the rods, no tying knots. That is a huge time save. I can't even explain to you how much of a time save that really is. I'll say that the assembly of these things, they're made out of some cheap components. If this thing was coming on and off the car all the time, I don't know how long it would last. Probably not a heck of a long time. The mechanics are not very solid. I feel like it'll be fine as long as I leave it on the car. That's for sure. It's rock solid still now. The opening and closing mechanism, that's fine. I like that it locks. And it was inexpensive. So if parts of it start to break, I could probably replace it for the low. And it will continue to help me out for a while. I will put the product names in the description of this video. I'm not sponsored by these things. These are just ones that I wanted to try. Another buddy who fishes in Texas or Alabama, a couple of different buddies suggested this thing, and I had to have it. So here it is. I'll say that I think one of the big things is it's going to help protect the rods, getting them in and out of the car. I've broken a number of rod tips and one rod altogether that got closed in the door. So I think that alone is going to be worth its weight. So thanks for watching this episode of Fishing Control, and we'll see you on the next trip.